the money to buy new minis, and then for a good year and a bit it was like, no, I don't have the time to do it either. Great! So what I'm hearing, homebrew 40k Skaven. Don't give her ideas! Hello everyone, and welcome to this first episode of Mrs. Apothecary's Alpha Legion journey. Obviously, I have Mrs. Apothecary with me here for this one.
Hello! Hello everyone.
So, I know why, but I'm going to ask you this one first. Why Alpha Legion?
Because I am Alfarius.
There we go, get the icebreaker in.
Yeah.
So, Leviathan Dreadnought.
Yeah.
See, I loved it. And we haven't really discussed this, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say on it. So, like, from the building point of view, like, what was it like to build?
So, I was really excited. When you ordered Leviathan Dreadnoughts, I was so excited. It's like, yeah, it's a big chunky boy. This should be fun. And it arrived, and I was desperate to start it. I was so excited. Like, this is diving into the Horus Heresy head first into the deep end. First proper model other than the one I did as a tester. And yeah, had a bit of a meltdown. Started building it. Started putting the legs together, and yeah, things went wrong. Don't know what I did. There was a little bit in the middle of the leg, and yeah, I don't know how I put it on the wrong way or something, but that super glue wouldn't come off, and I couldn't get the legs together, and then I couldn't get it to stand up while I was trying to position it, and yeah, the legs were tricky because there's so many little components. It was tricky. I'm umming and ahhing a lot.
Just to reiterate here, like, Mrs. Apothecary has done Age of Sigmar, and she has built some rather big Age of Sigmar pieces, like Cabbage, but this was your first Dreadnought. Like, you've not the Dreadnought before. You've not even built like a Forge World Leviathan. And to be perfectly honest, the legs on the Leviathan, I don't understand why it's so many pieces.
No. Prior to this, I've built the Cabbage, but that was my biggest model. Other than that, it's been Skaven, Grots, Fanatics, small little things. And everything's very fantasy, so it's all skin and fabric and very organic. This is very like hard lines and corners and edges and posable. Like, I don't think any of the models that I've built previously have been posable, or certainly not this posable anyway.
So that's already a kind of a tick, though.
Yeah,
it's posable.
Yeah, it's posable. It's supposed to be posable. This was just get it together and hope for the best. But after the legs, things improved. Yeah. Putting the top half together was a lot easier. The arms went together really nicely. So the top half went much smoother.
So my next question was there any part of it that you really enjoyed, like, to build?
I think because I had such a terrible time with the legs, everything after that felt very, very enjoyable. But I'm not sure if that's because I actually enjoyed building it, or it was just a relief that the legs were over.
Which kind of, like, that leads me straight onto the follow-up, which would have been, was there any particular part of the model you disliked?
Legs.
The legs. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
There was a couple of pieces where I struggled to get them in. The fit was so tight and close.
Like the torso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily I've got you, so you helped.
No.
With lots of things.
So, obviously, because there's a follow-up to that as well then, would be, do you have any advice for newcomers into the Heresy that might say, ooh, big stompy boy, I want one of them? Beyond get yourself a miniatures apothecary, because there's only one of me.
That's a good thing. Always dry fit before you super glue. Don't use plastic glue. Don't use the super glue we bought, because that just dried like cement. Yeah. Something that'll pop off if you make a mistake.
Don't buy super glue which has super in the title twice.
It was like cement. It went on and that was it. If you're struggling, ask for help. Don't feel bad about asking for help. And yeah, if something goes wrong, it's really not the end of the world. There is a way to pull it back, fix it, as you've shown.
I mean, you say obviously you had the issue with the legs.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with the legs, but then again, I've built Leviathans when they were just resin.
Yeah.
And the sort of the lower leg is pretty much one piece.
Yeah.
But even I have to admit, the lower half of the leg seems like one too many pieces. But even though technically they're on the wrong way around, from looking at it, you can't really tell.
Yeah, and there was that bit on the inside that I'd put in wrong and you had to break it.
Oh, yeah. I will try and put pictures up of that bit. But yes, I know which bit you mean now. But yeah, you can't tell that the legs are on, or you can't tell the lower legs are on the wrong way around anyway. So, okay. Painting. Much
more enjoyable than the building.
Because like you've already said, you've done Age of Sigmar, which is very organic. This is your second? Because you did the Alpha Legion test model.
Yeah.
But this is like your second...
But this is so much bigger
so much bigger, yeah. And it's all mechanical, and like you said, it's all hard lines. And what was it like painting it? Because I know certain people might say that it's a big piece, so it's rather daunting, or they might get a bit anxious about painting it.
I guess it depends on your experience. So I've literally, like I said before, dove into this head first, deep end, both feet, no armbands, because not only is it my first Dreadnought, my first real dip into Horus Heresy, my first real dip into Alpha Legion, it was also my first real dip into contrast paints.
Oh yeah.
Lots of firsts with this model. Contrast paints I definitely struggled with to begin with. I put a coat on, it was streaky. I tried to fix it by adding more paint, and that just made it worse. Luckily, I was able to wipe it away with some water and a damp cloth and wipe the paint off. So I was able to start again, but at the time it was very much, this could be the worst idea in the world and go horribly, horribly wrong, or it could save the model, because in the state it was in, I was ready to throw it in the bin to begin with, because the paint was awful. So it really was do I try and fix it as it is, which there was no way, it was just getting worse every time I applied more paint, or do I try and wipe it off and hope it comes off and start again? And I chose the second option. I wiped it off, and luckily for me it came off, gave it a wash with just some warm water, let it dry, and started again.
You took a break as well,
I took a break, stepped away from it and researched a bit about how to use the contrast paints, and then I did a couple of testers. So one was not watered down at all and just using it straight from the bottle, and the other was doubly watered down compared to what I would normally water a paint down. So normally I do water my paints down a little bit just to get that nice smooth run.
Yeah, you don't,
definitely. 2 thin coats is the way to go. But with the contrast, I found I needed double the amount of water to what I would use for a normal Citadel paint. And that worked really well. I got a much nicer flow, much even coverage. I didn't have the brush marks. So, yeah, the paints was, using the contrast paints was one thing, but then painting the model, again, it was big. It's lots of lines and lots of edges. I've done edge highlighting for the first time.
And what was that like?
That was different, because normally my painting style is wet palette, wet blend, all my colours together to get a nice even blend. Putting an edge highlight on, goes against everything in my brain, because my brain goes lovely, nice, even blended, smooth blending
from the highlight into the shade.
Yeah. And I do, and I wet blend, as you know, like with my kill team models, the colours and the shadow, it looks more realistic. So edge highlighting was, completely different. And it took a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd just be able to like whip around the edge with a bit of paint and it would be job done, and it really wasn't at all. So yeah, lots of firsts, lots of new things, but I'm liking the way it's turned out. Yeah,
it is looking really good. I mean, overall, what are your thoughts on the kit? Like, would you say it's a good kit, or is it something for? I
don't know, because I have nothing to compare it to.
As someone new into the hobby, like if you were getting into the hobby without the pressure from like the channel's Discord, like Morton, Nate, Aaron, or myself, if you went into the hobby store and you saw one of these on the shelf, would that be something that you think you'd go, oh yeah, or would you go for like a box of Marines or something?
If this was my first ever model and I was getting into Horus Heresy, so I'd never painted anything or built anything before, I would stay away from this. I would say start with your bog standard Marines. But on the other hand, like coming into the hobby and that being your first model, that's cool.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you've got the confidence to go there,
to tackle something
big, stumpy, a real grumpy boy, then go for it.
Because people do it, like they come into the hobby and they're like, I want an army, but I don't want too many models, and they go, ooh, Imperial Knights, and that baffles me. Like, going back to when I was younger, like when I was 8, I would not have dreamed, if they were around, of going, that's going to be my first model. Like, I wouldn't have dreamed it. I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with these tiny boys.
But at 8 years old, of course you're not going to go, oh, I want well, no, actually, you might actually be like, I want the biggest model in the shop. Yeah. But I guess it depends on your confidence.
Yeah.
Because if you've got skills from other hobbies or previous experience of some sort of model building, crafting, then you're gonna feel more confident. If you went into this not having any experience at all and no confidence, then this could knock you out of the hobby completely. This would be like, no, it's not for me. And you put it away and that's it. So I guess it depends where you...
But I guess you could say that with most kits.
Yeah, but the more simple the kit, the more likely you are to get that sense of achievement and fulfillment, and then you would carry on with it. Yeah. Whereas if you went in no confidence, no previous experience, and this was the first thing you did, and it didn't go well.
Because you're referring there to like being in the zone, like the peak flow, like skill level and stuff.
No, I'm more kind of just saying, if things didn't go well, then that could knock your confidence back even further and make you just think, well, this isn't a hobby for me. When actually miniature wargaming is open for everybody. It's not something that is... It's a hobby that's very, very inclusive. It's something anybody can do, no matter what their skill level, no matter what your interests are, there is something there for everybody. Yeah. Whether that's a GW system or something else. A different system. There's something there for everybody in miniature building.
Yeah. And it's okay.
But if you start off with the wrong thing, then that could stop you and make you think that it's not the hobby for you. And actually, if you'd started with something simpler and built your confidence up, then that could change your outlook completely.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends on the person and their confidence.
Yeah. It goes. It goes to show as well. Like, it's okay to make mistakes.
Definitely.
Like, you make a mistake, you either fix it or you don't. But it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, it is just a plastic little toy. It's a little, you know, it's a little stompy boy that goes pew pew. Well, in this case, like the claw.
You had to get that in there, didn't
Totally
you?
had to get that in there.
So my my next question is, though, like, are you going to do more of these? Like, are you going to go for the full Talon of 3, or...
I think Foxy DM would be very disappointed if I didn't.
Yeah, I think
Can I just leave it at that?
So that leads me to then. So when it comes to like the painting, because obviously your difficulty with the painting was less the actual painting of it. It was the use of, like, because it was a first for with your contrast and stuff. Do you think, like, the next time you might try a different way of doing it? Because it is they are big canvases to work on. Dreadnoughts. They're not. You generally find like Marines are quite small, but with the Dreadnoughts and the larger miniatures, you can do a little bit more with and play around with them. Do you think you'll like do wet blend maybe, or play around with that?
I definitely think, kind of now I've got this first one under my belt, if I do go back and do another Dreadnought, I would do more with it. Maybe Hazard Stripes, because I know you love the Hazard Stripes.
That's my thing. No, Hazard Stripes. That's my thing.
I know you love some Hazard Stripes. I could totally get like purple and black Hazard Stripes. That'd look awesome.
Purple and black Hazard Stripes on an Alpha Legion. Comments in the comment section, please. We want to see how many people want to see purple and black Hazard Stripes on an Alpha Legion Leviathan, because that might end up being your next project if you're not careful.
Well, I do have, because this actually came after my Age of Darkness box.
Yeah.
My Age of Darkness box came first, but I have not built or painted anything, so I do have a whole Age of Darkness box, including tanks. Oh my god, I've never built a tank.
Yeah. And we're documenting the whole journey. So
yeah, this is just model 1.
This is just model 1.
There's another.
What are you going to do? Are you going to like roll a dice or do it, or are you just going to dive in and just grab something randomly?
Maybe we should like ask the Discord and roll a dice or something. I don't know. I have no idea.
Put a poll up on over on social media or something. Yeah. And then we'll record. Obviously, recording. Obviously, each unit that you do.
Yep.
And then.
Which means I've got a whole month to do in the next unit. That's great. Woohoo!
Yeah. Like a whole. You can do a month, 2 months, whatever. Yeah.
Well, we said try and do like an update once a month.
Yeah.
So I've got a whole month to do a unit. That's great. Awesome.
But you enjoy. This is you're enjoying Alpha Legion.
I'm definitely enjoying Alpha Legion. I've started reading the lore, listening to content creators on YouTube, especially lore creators. I'm loving Voldemort and his Alpha Legion one. That was amazing, because I've mainly listened to kind of Skaven lore or read fantasy books, or so diving into the sci-fi side of thing. I've also started on the lore side as well, so that's also all new for me.
We started with Horus Rising a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah, loved that.
We started with the audiobooks while we've been painting.
Yeah.
So.
And that was really engrossing, really good book.
Really
enjoyed it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying every aspect.
Building up to
actually playing a game.
Playing dice, throwing dice at each other.
Oh no. Do you have any more questions?
No, I think that's all the questions. Just getting like an overall idea of what you were going for with your project. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching and listening. It's been an absolute delight recording this one, and I personally am looking forward to doing the next one. I'm not even sure where she's going with this. She's that sneaky. She's really got into the Alpha Legion mentality. I don't even know where she's going with this. So.
That's all right. Neither do I. Which is definitely the Alpha Legion mentality.
The blind at this point.
Definitely.
So we hope you enjoyed this, and we shall get another video with more Alpha Legion updates out to you soon, hopefully. And there may be a poll either during a Twitch stream or on social media as to what Mrs. Apothecary tackles next.
It's for me.
Pick something nice for you. Again, if you've enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and please check the links in the description below, because the channel now has a Patreon, so all your support is very much appreciated.
Otherwise, the God Emperor might smite you.